Hello, my name is Cheryl Clarke, and I'm Superintendent of the Monson Public Schools. I'd like to welcome you to Clarke's Corner. This is the first of a monthly feature that will be televised here on M-PACT, and we will be discussing the initiatives and activities that are occurring in our district and keep you up to date on what's happening in our schools. Today you will hear about all of the support services that are provided by the Department of Guidance and Student Support. They do so much more than helping your child apply to college or resolving a dispute with a friend. They are everywhere in our buildings and offer a variety of support for your students. And I would like to have them introduce themselves. First, Jen.
Jennifer Govin, career facilitator at Monson High School and Granite Valley Middle School.
I'm Kristen Sorrell, counselor at the high school.
I'm Maria Maloney, and I'm the social worker for the district.
I'm Bob Bardwell, school counselor at the high school.
I'm Wendy Rosaza. I'm school counselor at Granite Valley Middle School.
Colleen Lukasik, school counselor, Quarry Hill Community School.
Okay, great. So I will just be asking you all a question or two, and feel free to jump in if you have something to add. So Colleen, I think I'll start with you.
Sure.
So bullying is a topic that's out there. It's in the papers. We've been hearing a lot about bullying and students that have gone through a lot with bullying. So if my child comes home and says that he or she is being bullied, what would I do? How would I proceed?
So definitely a great question that many parents have on their minds today. It's a hot topic question, and we have a lot of issues that do arise. And I think first talking with your child, trying to find out what exactly is going on, or what is exactly going on, to give us as much information as possible when you do call, to let us know that your child has come home with some concerns, or if they're upset, whether it be on the bus or at school too. So the first thing is to contact myself, Mrs. L, they call me. So I'm the guidance counselor. You can call and ask for me, or you can ask for administration as well. The assistant principal is Stacy Augusto, or Mrs. Beaudry, the principal as well. And then we would go ahead and start to kind of find out what's going on exactly by interviewing the child and asking them some questions and giving us a little bit more detail. And then also to investigating what kinds of things are occurring and how we can help them. It's a very detailed process. We have what's called an office referral form that we fill out, and we go through it and look at the details and see what's going on and the people that are involved, and making our decision from there. And the office referral form also too has a rubric that's on it that gives us a gauge as to where we should be looking for our consequence for a child that is being bullied, or if it exactly is a repetitive act happening over and over, which is bullying. If it's a case of where it's something that just happened with a child, maybe once, and some meanness kind of going on, we absolutely handle that as well. But it looks a little different than what a bullying situation may happen. And that office referral kind of gives us that scale as to the best plan of action to handle that.
So is bullying more a repeated occurrence?
Yes, a repeated occurrence, exactly. And that's, I think, really important to kind of tease out when speaking with your child, to find out exactly what's going on, so we have better information to really get to a better resolve, and to definitely figure out our best course of action. And to let the teachers know as well, too. Communication with the teacher is very, very important. I strongly encourage parents to contact the teacher as well, because they're the eyes in the room. And we're kind of, obviously that support staff going in to do anything else extra on top of that.
Excellent, thank you. And similar procedures at the other two schools? I know there's a peer aggression form. Is that still in place?
The middle school is a peer aggression form, and we like to, again, find out from lots of different people, different angles on what's been happening, and then work with the student if they're being bullied to help strengthen their skills in communication, standing up for themselves, being assertive without putting somebody else down, without being a bully themselves. And then we also would like to work with the student who is doing the bullying so that they can learn other methods of interacting with their peers and settling differences that they have.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Bob, I have a question for you.
Okay.
As a parent guardian, I struggle with what's happening and keeping up with what's going on with my child's schoolwork. What can I do to be more connected with the school?
Great. And that's something that's very important to us. We consider the school, the child, and the family a three-legged stool, if you will, and all three are really critical to making this work. So the best advice I can give families is to be involved and to communicate with the school. So either contacting us as the counselor or contacting the teachers directly. And I think most of our staff are on email at least multiple times a day, and that's probably the best way to do that. Certainly you can call, and that's an option as well. But without that communication, you don't know what's going on. And communication is really important for any relationship, whether it's at home or at school. So if, as a parent or guardian, you don't know what's going on, the best way is to call and ask. And if you need to, you can set up a meeting. You can have a meeting with us as the counselors or also with the teachers. Some of the schools operate on teams, which means they have a group of teachers that meet with the child, and you can set up time for that. It may be during the day, so that may be an issue for those folks that work. But we try to accommodate parents as best we can. So it's essential for that success to have that communication. We do have some forms of electronic communication, and we're working on improving our technology.
Yes, we are.
So that's something that will be coming down the road hopefully soon, but that will allow students and parents to have access through a program called iParent, which would allow them to have access via the computer, via the internet, and allow them to have access to grades and assignments and things like that online. But right now the best way is really through email or through even notes, if you will. Some students, will bring notes to school and things like that. But a lot depends on the grade level and what the teachers are comfortable doing. And I know some teachers do communication through newsletters and things like that as well. So certainly the school does a lot, but we really need the parents to step up and to do their part. And it's hard. We're all busy. I'm a parent. I have 2 teenagers, and I know how hard it is to stay on top of that. But that's really part of our role and our job if we want to all be working together for the student to be successful.
Excellent, yeah. And all of our emails are on our new district website, which is another way we're communicating with parents. If you have not already looked at the website, please do so. It is much improved over the former site that we had, and everything that goes home, all the flyers are on there, everyone's emails. I said each school has a site, and email is a great way to communicate with the teachers. And also in the elementary and the middle school, the agendas are another tool. Right. So just can you talk a little bit about that? Because I'm not sure that all parents know that they can actually use that as a form of communication. They just check it for homework.
Sure. I know that especially, in 3rd and 4th and, going through that, it's a great resource for parents to look at. Sometimes the notes going through is seeing what's for homework and kind of that communication log as to what exactly that they're working on. And I know it's a great way to kind of communicate, if there's a struggle with homework, you can always note it in there, or if there was a busy night, which does happen, you can always note those things in there to let teachers know that, there might be an issue.
Okay, great. Anything else?
And I would also just say we do a lot of programming. I know sometimes it's at evenings when parents are working or unavailable, but there are lots of different things at all 3 buildings that we do at night or outside the school day, and that's really our opportunity to connect with families and folks. So it's sometimes a challenge to get to those programs, but that would also help that communication piece, because then we know that you're interested, you want to be involved, and then especially for parents, having that face-to-face contact with the family is really important.
And you were starting a book club?
Yes, we are. We're starting a book club probably in early 2014, where we'll invite families, parents and guardians to be part of that, to read a book about raising children and teenagers and how we can help support them and have sort of a opportunity to engage in dialogue and discussion. So look forward to that in early January of 2014.
Great. And on December 9th is Coffee and Conversation with Me. That's another event. If you'd like to come to Quarry Hill in my office, we're going to just have some snacks, and it'll be in the evening. I'll give you more information as we go along, but to talk about really anything you'd like to talk about, topics that you are wondering about. We're going to talk about the Common Core, the upcoming testing, so it'll be a great night to learn more as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Kristen.
Yes.
Hi. What are some study tips or suggestions that may help students improve how they're doing in school, their academic performance?
Excellent question. This is something, probably a major part of our job, something that we all deal with a lot. And I would say that it depends on what the students' issues are. I think we see a lot academic struggles can come up at any time, even with a good performing student who normally performs well getting into a higher level class, or a student who normally performs well that is all of a sudden struggling with math. So it really depends on the situation. So I would encourage, a kind of common theme from all of us is that parents and students are in communication with teachers, with us, so that we can get kind of catch an issue early, so that we're not, hanging the kid out to dry and waiting till last minute to kind of be in support of them. So first of all, what you want to do is kind of figure out what the student is struggling with, what's hard for them. If it's in one class, I would definitely recommend meeting with that teacher. Maybe they have a different perspective on what the student should be focusing on. If it's kind of an overall issue and you're noticing a struggle in all academics, then maybe talking about a situation where they might want to figure out if the issue is homework, if the issue is classwork, is it studying for quizzes. So there are many different things that we could do in any of those cases. A lot of students struggle with organization, so those are all things that we could intervene with if that comes up. I know that we pay special attention. A lot of students have a hard time with transitions, so we are extra attentive of 9th graders and I know 5th graders with some programs that we have in place. So really, like I said, communication is key, and figuring out with the student being involved in those conversations where they feel they need help, where they're struggling, and what we can do to best support them.
Excellent. And I know I've seen, I think all of you clean lockers and help students organize and the agendas and all the folders, and I know that's a big part of what you do. And also after school help. We have a late bus now, which is for the middle and high school students if they're staying after for extra help. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and they can, there's a little shuttle that runs from Granite Valley and the high school over to Quarry Hill, and they can ride the bus with the Quarry Hill students, and they need a pass to get on that bus. But it's a great opportunity for kids to stay after if parents work, which is, of course, a concern that you won't be able to pick up your child. That's another service that we've just recently started, so that's great. Okay, Maria, we hear about increase in mental health issues with our kids, such as depression or anxiety. What are some of the warning signs that parents should look for?
Well, I think just to begin, parents know their children better than anyone else. So the first thing you're going to be looking for is any change in their behavior. And one thing is that people often think that younger children cannot struggle with anxiety or depression, and they can. So it may look different depending on the age group. So in younger children, I would say if you notice that children are no longer as interested in playing with their friends or doing activities that they normally like, you might see some separation anxiety, some crying, some not wanting to go to school. So be aware of those things. As children get older, and particularly boys, they often display feelings around mental health issues with anger. So students might be more angry and irritable, but when you meet with them and kind of talk with them, you learn that there might be some things that they're worried about or sad about, and that can come up. I think having continuous dialogue with your children all the time is helpful, because then if they are struggling, they'll come to you. It's hard to bridge that gap during an emergency, but if you have open communication, that's more helpful for them. Make sure that you know kind of who they're hanging out with and their friends, because I think you can gauge then more carefully how their behaviors are changing. Certainly if you have concerns, I would encourage you to talk to your child's pediatrician, or if you're noticing things, and also to call us at school and see if we can give you any insight as to what we're seeing, and we can make referrals or help intervene or have a family meeting or see what we can do to make the situation easier.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you kind of deal with another area of guidance, which is helping kids discover what they may like to do when they grow up and move on. So if my child has not a clue about what they would like to do when they graduate from high school and move on, what can the school do to help?
Okay, so what we can do at the school, and everybody's actually involved, is work with your plan for the future, which is what we currently use. And at the high school, And in there, in your plan for the future, it's a website, and they can take assessments about what they value, what they like, and really gives us important information about who they are, what their personality is like, and trying to match those with what careers line up. So again, they go in, they take assessments, we look at those, they look at them, we work with them their sophomore year with these assessments, and they do a career research project. And lots of kids will come in and they'll know what they want. And when they do the research project, it sends them in a different direction. Other kids, again, they'll come in not knowing it all, and it really hones it down to, this is my area. They may not be specific, which is fine as sophomores, but it gives them a chance to take some courses, learn some more information. Using that website is a great tool. They can retake assessments every year.
So that's all online?
That's all online, yeah. So they log in, they register with through the high school, and they log in, and parents can actually log in as well. And we're looking to bring it to the middle school, because currently we do career and inventory assessments at the middle school, but we're trying to align them.
And that's done in computer class, correct?
In their computer classes.
Right. Okay.
I think currently they use some Bridges and CIA, I think it is, that they currently use, and choices, and those go into folders and get brought up to me at the high school. So again, I can track them from their 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade year, bring them in their 9th grade year, they start on your plan for the future, and I continue to track them and try to find the similarities. What's consistent in there? Where do they really, fall in, and what will line up with, most importantly, their personality and what they like. So I think it's a great tool. Bringing it to the middle school, like we're talking about doing for your plan for the future, will really keep it on that same track. So it'll be nice. It's a great way.
That sounds great. And to bring it to the middle school. And there have been initiatives, I know there's been a career fair that has been a huge success the last couple of years at the middle school. And I know, Wendy, you were, very involved in making that happen. You took that on. That helps as well, exposes kids to careers that maybe they didn't realize are even out there.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think the experience of that, and again, exposing them to careers, they may not have known about that. And we also do it now with our 5th and 7th grade, and we try to line it up with their curriculum. We just had a meeting today about bringing in speakers that will relate it to exactly what they're doing in the classroom. So again, what does it mean when I'm doing all these things? Well, this is where it goes in the career.
Right.
So it's really exciting. At the high school, we do our freshman class. Again, they go through and do all careers come in. They have speakers that come in. So it really exposes them to as many things as we can possibly expose them to.
Excellent. Thank you. Anybody want anything? We're good? Okay. Great. Okay, Wendy?
Yes.
You are my last question. So I know there are a lot of activities that happen when it's a big jump from 4th to 5th, and then from 8th to 9th. And there are a lot of transition activities that take place to help the kids kind of get used to the climate and get in the groove of what's happening in their new school. Can you just talk about some of the things that are done for that?
Like we start our transitioning early. I mean, this year we've already started transition activities for 8th grade. They're thinking about what's important to them for their future, where they want to go to high school, what they want to study, where they want to end up if they want to go to college. So they're preparing. They're looking at things right now. We've had Pathfinder come in to give a brief presentation, and the students will who are interested in going to Pathfinder for vocational education, they'll be able to go on a tour in December. And in addition to that, we bring in January, we start talking in 8th grade about, I'll be speaking with the classes about different kinds of programs, education, choices that they will make. What happens now is going to be very important for their future, for college. And so we want to make sure that they are preparing themselves for the best opportunities possible. And
so when they're getting ready to go to the high school,
right?
What you come over to the middle school, Bob, with
Sure.
your guidance people.
There's a whole transition program
Right.
that includes us meeting with the students in small groups, meeting in large groups. They also come over to the high school for 3/4 of a day to spend, to shadow, to get a sense of what the high school is like, so they understand what the schedule is and how it's different than middle school. And then we work with them on their course selection for 9th grade. So it starts, as Wendy said, kind of now, and it goes through all the way into the summer. And actually, right before school, we have a barbecue for all the 9th graders to come to the high school. So
I went to that this year. That was very fun.
Yeah. In addition
then
to
fourth to fifth?
the barbecue,
Oh,
they have advisors who get in touch with the students over the summer.
Advisors
and
are students?
Advisors are the
both adults and students.
and then they have a student student advisory program
Right.
that happens once a week at the high school, that their peers in their grade meet in a small group once a week with an advisor who is following them throughout their high school career, which is a great connection. There's somebody else looking out for them, making sure they're on track and keeping up with what they need to keep up with.
And then from fourth
From
to
fourth
fifth,
to fifth, we start.
Very
We start
exciting
early
time.
with that too. We ask for parent input when your child is in fourth grade, because we want to make sure that we are placing them in the best kind of an environment for them, the best way they learn. And it's a chance for teachers also to talk, and we want to use data to make good decisions about helping them to be in the most challenging classroom that they can be in without being overwhelmed. And so we work very hard trying to put them in the right classrooms. Then we also have myself and another teacher from fifth grade will go down. We'll talk to the fifth grade teachers, especially if there are students with special needs or things that we really need to know about before school begins in the fall. And the students in fourth grade are also brought up to the middle school to do tours, and
they meet their teachers.
They meet all the teachers. They talk about the summer reading program, and we have some of our 8th grade mentors and mentees. They're paired up, and they come in and take the 4th graders on the tours, which is a special program. We have a parent orientation evening that the parents can come in and see what our curriculum is like, what our program is like, what are some of the special features that we want to highlight. So that sometimes we have new programs, sometimes we have new classes, and so we want to make sure that parents are involved in every step of the way. We've got then just before school we do another tour, because we understand this is really hard for students coming into a brand new building. Everything's brand new for them, so we want them to be as comfortable there as possible. So before the school year begins, we have them come in and check out the locker situations again, the classrooms where they are. They're always worried about the lockers. So during the first week of school, they're not actually changing classes right away. They're staying in their homerooms together as a group, and that's where they review all the routines that they're going to need to know throughout their 4 years at Granite Valley. They talk about bathroom procedures, going to the nurse, going to lockers, when you're going to go, what are the expectations. And they get to practice all of their lockers. And if they don't get it during the time that's set aside every day that first week, then we don't leave them hanging. We come help them. I'll come up there, or one of the instructional aides will be out in the hallways with them to help them feel comfortable with that process. We also have on our school field, we have in-school field trips for them that first week, where they'll come down and practice in the morning what it's like going into the cafeteria and sitting down, and what is the process on getting up and getting your lunch, which doors do I go in. So they just have a better feel for what's going to happen, and there are no surprises. They go down to the nurse to see how to get there. If they're going to be called to the office or to guidance at some point, then we want them to feel comfortable getting there. So they take them on little field trips within the within the school. Then they do some outside team building activities. They do some about me things where if it's, the month of November, there are students whose pictures and information, that things that are important to them are up on the boards. And they also make some canvas bags together to keep all their things, just to make life easier as a fifth grader and carrying things around. It's kind of like a team building activity too, yes. So it's fun. And then the other thing that we do is student success skills, where I meet with the students and we talk about creating a caring, supportive, and encouraging community so that everybody feels safe and comfortable in learning. They learn about how to take care of themselves, getting enough rest, exercise, the proper nutrition, and social things, having social interaction and having fun. Those are important too. We talk about stress reduction techniques and lots of different lessons, memory tools, positive self-talk. We do some kinesthetic learning using body and motion to memorize things or come up with some tricks to learning. So it's fun. And if I also tried to meet with the fifth graders and try to get to know them, show them where my office is, so if they ever have any trouble or need some help with something, they know where to go.
Great. Now, what you just reminded me, you've been in teaching classrooms. Colleen, you have as well. And Kristen and Jen. Right, so I don't think people realize that you actually teach classes as well as
we have learning
all
objectives.
Of the things that we've been hearing about too.
We have pre and post tests.
That's right, data.
We have a whole curriculum map of what we do at each grade level and what our goals are.
Right,
and lesson plans.
Right, so that's awesome. Is there anything else anybody would like to add?
I would just want to say you've only heard today a fraction of what we do.
Oh, yes.
And as Cheryl alluded to, we do a lot. We don't always know what we're going to get when we walk into the building on every given day. So the most important thing,
whatever we plan is not what we do.
It's
always different.
So because you can't predict a crisis when it happens, you don't know. So I would just say again that for families that have questions or concerns, we might be the first point of contact, and that might be helpful for us to at least listen to what your concerns are, what your frustrations are, and then we can perhaps give you many options for what you can do to fix that concern or problem. And the only way we're going to really tackle that is by communicating. And so I would really stress that. Don't hesitate to call us or email us, because that's what we're here for.
Thank you. Well, I thank you all for being here. As you can see, it's these people here are the best. Our students are so fortunate to have them there for their support, and it's really an honor and a privilege to work with you all. So I really thank you for coming. And as Bob said, if you have any questions at all, you can contact any of these fine people at the schools, and they will be there to help you. So that concludes our first Clarke's Corner. Next month we will have students that will be joining me, so I encourage you to look for that next show, and thank you very much for watching.